Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, October 17th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. Couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol DJT. And this one had a very nice recovery after a big pullback yesterday, which I talked about. But also, as I talked about, from the big picture of things, this pullback here was still totally fine because it still had an opportunity to build that higher base. And as of right now, if that's as low as it got, then with the price now way up there, that seems to be solidifying this key level of support down there right around the 2450 mark. So that'll be the overall level that you'd want to see. But the ideal level, when you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? That would be if the price can stay there at the purple, or stay above that purple line there, the 50-period simple moving average. But again, if the price falls below that 50-period moving average, that doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But yeah, if the price could stay above there, that would certainly be a great sign of power. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, what I'm now curious about moving forward is that area right there. You can see that this little section of connecting those highs right there did a fantastic job of forecasting where that resistance would be. Does not mean that the price can't push above that level. I'm just saying that it does make sense why the price is currently struggling at that area. But all in all, nice recovery today. We'll see if the momentum carries into Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol VS. And overall, well, it's a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yeah, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. But if you care about the bigger picture point of view, the price does still have the opportunity to build an overall higher base, and that's what it's all about. Now in the near term, I think the level that really stands out to me and is interesting is that level right there, that resistance line, which again, the price is currently knocking on the door of that level. That doesn't guarantee that it'll be broken, but it's certainly a more than plausible scenario that the price could come up there and break through it. So keep an eye on that level right there from resistance standpoint. And then support-wise, let me get that into play. There we go. Change that to green to represent support. You have that little trend line right there. That would be more so the ideal level. Again, that meaning, what would make the chart look the strongest. Definitely if the price can stay above there. But from the overarching standpoint, as that purple line there moves higher and higher, again, a moving average, that's what you want to see from a big picture standpoint. But I think most people are probably interested in this action right here and wondering who is ultimately going to win out of this wedge formation. So we'll definitely see what happens. Grab your popcorn for Thursday. Next one, DRUG, crazy mover from yesterday, and today it acted a little bit more human, but it's still got those big fluctuations in it. So if you like volatile stocks, then this one I'd say to certainly keep an eye on. And it's also now formed a very, very well-defined pattern. So as I draw this pattern, please don't think that I'm trying to impress you or trying to imply that this is a secret discovery or a great discovery. The exact opposite. I assure you, a lot of people have drawn something, maybe not exactly like this, but something very, very similar to this pattern here. So let me change that to green and then map out, keep it one color. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So there is, the resistance up there, the support, and then that represents the big upwards move. And to make it a little bit more visual for you golfers, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because it's a bullish pattern doesn't mean that the price is for sure going to go up. But my point here is that it's more than valid to think that if the price can, get a bounce off that level, come up here and break through it, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure. So if you like very volatile stocks, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on this one. Next one, CTCX, and this one's looking pretty sketchy right now. And, it's looking borderline ugly, but as you longer time viewers have heard me say time and time again, there can be opportunity in the ugly. And that's what I'm wondering about right now, because if you put yourselves in the shoes of somebody that maybe chased up there, they're not very happy as that thing has had a very ugly afternoon. But with all that being said, it is now starting to approach a couple of interesting levels that could very well serve as some sort of support. Initially, that level right there, that former breakout point at 57.5 cents. And this is just basic technical analysis when areas of resistance are broken. So let's establish the fact that right there, it was indeed a level of resistance, but it was broken right there. So when levels of resistance are broken, they do tend to act as support. Again, no guarantees, but I don't think it would shock anybody if the price came down here and then did something like that and bounce. And the good news is it's not like you need a massive reversal, because assuming you're, of course, managing your risk and all of that, relative to what is being risked, even if you get a modest bounce back in the upwards direction, so not anywhere close to those highs, from a risk-reward scenario, you could still structure yourself a very ideal scenario. So if you like penny stocks and you like these deeper pullbacks that start to enter into the ugly territory, but there's still some opportunity because it still approaches some areas of potential support, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, NVDA, and I will say a very impressive recovery, because yesterday things were looking quite shaky. It still got work to do, but nonetheless, you got to give credit where credit's due. Good, solid recovery, and the level that I think a lot of people will be watching. And again, same idea, me drawing this trend line is not me trying to impress you, not trying to imply it's a great discovery or special skill. A lot of people have drawn a trend line very similar to that, and you combine that with the fact that NVIDIA is a very well-known stock, maybe the most well-known stock right now. When you have a lot of eyeballs watching the same levels, self-fulfilling prophecy, call whatever you want, it can definitely produce those big upwards movements. So if the price were to come up here and push up through there, more than valid to think that the break right there could generate more buying pressure in and of itself, because people are saying, I'm a breakout trader. Oh, look, that's breaking out. Oh, I'm supposed to buy because I'm a breakout player. Therefore, I'm going to buy. And just like that, you could get, self-fulfilling prophecy type, momentum and buying in that regard. As far as the areas of support are concerned, preferable level, what would make it look the strongest? Definitely if the price can stay above that purple line. But what I'm curious about now, more so from a bigger picture, somewhat bigger picture, but from an overall standpoint, is that trend line right there. So it's not even anywhere close to it. But if the price were to come down there, be very curious to see if the price can hold above that. If it can't, then at that point, I think it becomes very possible that the price then at least goes down and tests that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. But all things considered, good solid day today. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one, ATNF, and once again, all about perspective. Day traders, flipper scalpers that were buying there or bought the dip right there, wanted to buy and sell within 7 minutes. Yes, not looking good at all. But it does make for a very interesting scenario, because first off, this one has proved that it can move, and it can move very quickly. So another one of these highly volatile stocks, and you combine that with the fact that you got to think a lot of people are watching it, and I think that's a pretty straightforward trend line. So going back to that whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies, got to think a lot of people are potentially watching that level for a breakout. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. And then just from a support standpoint, we have that area down there. And then just from a pattern standpoint, we have ourselves a nice falling wedge pattern. And a falling wedge is actually a bullish pattern, whereas the rising wedge would be bearish. So all those things kind of coming together, well-defined areas, nice falling wedge pattern, which is bullish. And we'll see if this thing can try to get another surge of momentum, back for the second day. But it's going to be all about, can the price stay above this area? I mean, if it severely cracks down through that area, then at that point, it might be game over. It might be headed back down to essentially close the gap. But if it can find some support here and curl back upwards, then yeah, grab your popcorn and we'll see if it's got another surge of momentum in it. Next one here, STEC, and this is exactly why I like to do these when the market is still open, because check out the last 30 minutes as I speak. Big green bar, volume is returning. So now we have ourselves a super interesting situation headed into Thursday. And at this point, I think most people are going to just be wondering, all right, big surge. Is this surge going to be enough to carry it up through those highs, which is our key area of resistance right there at $3.26. So $3.26 will be that main battleground. Nothing fancy behind that logic other than asking the question, where did the party stop earlier today? And that's where the party stopped, up around that area. Now, just because it's surging right now during the last 30 minutes does not mean the price is going to get up there, let alone break above it. But it becomes a whole lot more valid than when the price was, sitting down around here. If the price was down here and I'm sitting here talking about breaking up through that level, it becomes pretty valid to say, okay, I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself. I mean, the price isn't anywhere close to that. But like I said, that's why the last 30 minutes has really changed the ball game in terms of that talking point. In regards to levels of support, Key area I would say is right there around the $1.85 mark, so keep an eye on that. And then from a bigger picture, overarching standpoint, that purple line there, 50 period moving average, as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price does stay above there, then again, from the overarching standpoint, you would still have to give the trend to the bulls. But like I said, last 30 minutes here sure changes things up, adds quite a bit of spice here as we head into Thursday. Next one, DUO. I like this pattern a whole lot. First off, just starting with the context, it is a bullish context, a gap up. Sure, it pulled back from these highs, but overall still very, very clearly put in a higher low. So that's the overall context, nice and bullish. And then within this pattern, we have this trend line right here. Whoops. If I can grab the right one. There we go. We have this trend line right here, which is illustrating that throughout the course of the day, after that pullback, it wasn't anything too exciting, but the price was slowly creeping its way back upwards, slowly working its way higher and higher. So we have that uptrending line, and then we just have a very well-defined breakpoint, and that sits right here at the $1.43. You can see going through the history of things, struggled, rejected, basically rejected right there. And then if you want to just call this a flat-out pattern here, if we just take that and then factor in the whole gap up right there, put the golf hole down here, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. But I like this pattern quite a bit. So if you like this price range down below $10, you like these sorts of circumstances, then keep an eye on it. Next one here, TSLA, Tesla. I'm going to go through this one very quickly because, to be frank, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. But it is Tesla, very popular stock, so I like to keep people updated on it. But if you have watched past videos, then you know what I'm probably going to talk about here because nothing has really changed. Now, sure, intraday, the price was a little choppy. But from the big picture, all you really need to say is the sideways channel remains. Top of the channel resistance at 223, we'll call it 40. Bottom of the channel, down there support 214.25. But other than that, it's still just a big waiting game. Who is ultimately going to win this battle? Because right now the price is just going back and forth. So who's going to win? Who's ultimately going to find enough strength to either push through the upside or push through the downside? Grab your popcorn, grab your Sour Patch Kids. Next one, TQQQ, and all things considered, good solid day, especially when you factor in that opening 30 minutes. That opening 30 minutes is that big old red candle right here. So it did not start very well on the day at all. So when you factor that in and then you look at how the price hit a low right there and then ultimately made its way back up there. Again, not an explosive day to the upside, but a good recovery day when things started off very, very brutal. And good to see that, technically speaking, the price is honoring, not perfectly, but it is honoring that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. So moving forward, right around $72.20 remains that ideal level where you really do want to see the price hold above it. If the price can't quite hold above it, then you can see that things start to open up and you almost enter into this little void. We're really not any other areas of, well, in fact, now that I have this down, let me just get this line in play because I'm quite curious about it now. Because the price is actually a lot closer than what I thought. So that line right there, let me extend it out some more. And we'll keep an eye on this over the next few days too, see if that comes into play at all. So keep an eye, like I said, preferably speaking above that pink line, but that green line, trend line, definitely much more important in terms of areas of resistance. Nothing complicated here, just definitely keeping, well, really a couple levels. Overall, keep an eye on that purple line, and there is this trend line here, but I would just say even if the price breaks above that, I would be very skeptical. I want to get too excited. Don't get me wrong, that is a good thing, but I want to get too excited because not that far away up above, you do have that purple line there, 50 period moving average. But however you want to look at it, these would be the two nearest term areas of resistance. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, October 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is a genuine live event, and I say that because there will be a Q&A session, so if you have questions, please bring them, and I'd be happy to answer them live for you. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours worth of time and not 30 minutes. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So in order for this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible, I want to just make sure that I kind of take it from a bigger picture approach. And the way I want to do that is just walk you through some questions under the assumption that you're watching this video 15-20 hours after I get it uploaded. So question number one becomes, and this is the same question as yesterday, but whenever you're watching this, where's the price at relative to 64,500? If you are answering the question that the price is above that level, then things are fine. Now, maybe things don't look as good as they are right now. Case in point, let's say maybe the price has actually come down and it's looking like that. Well, even from that perspective, yes, there'd be this pullback, not the most enjoyable thing, but when you factor in where the price was not that long ago and you factor that in, all you'd still have is a bull flag pattern. So yes, not enjoyable if the price is working its way down to 64,500, but even if it does that, as you see here, it would still be bullish. It'd be giving you some sort of bullish pattern. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 64,500, not a very good thing, but more interesting question would be, okay, well, where's the price at relative to those moving averages right there? I doubt this will be the case, but if you're answering the question that the price is down below those, well, then, yeah, that's a red flag. That something has gone wrong in a pretty quick amount of time. And I realize that's the second time my voice is cracked, but I'm recovering from a cold and my voice isn't still quite what it needs to be. And then on the flip side of things, common sense will take you far. If you're saying, well, Clay, the price is above 64,500 and the price is actually way up here, well, that's just telling you that not only is the price still bullish, it's gotten that much more bullish by putting in higher highs. So keep your eye on those levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this relevant until I'm back to update it again. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this free class, because what you're learning about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So like I said, it'll be very soon, Thursday, October 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. And again, bring your questions for that live Q&A. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, as always, if you enjoyed these, hit that like button, leave a comment below. If you have a request, let me know down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get to that in a future top 10 video. So thanks for watching, and go get signed up for the free class.